raise my eyes to the wild blue yonder. I can't believe what I see, and it makes me wonder what's falling down on me. The sky's falling. The sky.
Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here. All right, I'm calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Now, I'm going to be dealing with the facts, the truth, not the lies and the story. The stories. All right. I hope you all know that Congress actually had a meeting about UFOs and truth was brought out. But they're trying to cover it up already. One famous name, they didn't say, they just said a famous person. The words they used. What is the words they used? Hold on. Okay, who is one of the top Pentagon officials? Didn't give his name. All right, and I talk about another person. Let's see if I can find his name. Oh, I can't find it. But another person put up articles going against everything, saying that it's no proof and there was no stories that are real in the UFO world, meaning people disappearing, people being abducted, and every aspect of that. Well, the person that came out to give his truth retired, but not a normal person, high-level ranking person in the office. And it's not the first time. They had a couple meetings already with Congress, but now we got all these other people trying to downplay it. First, I'm going to tell you, I know more about this than probably 99% of everybody else alive now in the UFO world. Not about actual everything going on inside government facilities, because I don't care. What the government is doing with aliens, they have to do. People, whether you realize that or not, they have to stay on top of defense. And who's giving it to them? Aliens are. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's your choice. If you don't want the truth, please leave the show. There's no reason for you to be here. If you think you know the truth, please think again. I'm going to be putting the truth out there. I've been in this world since 1958. A long time. I don't know how many other UFO people could even say that. Well, I got involved 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Even people like Linda Moulton Howe. 40 years she was investigating cattle mutilation. And she has no proof of it at all of what really happens. I had more proof of that than she did. Well, my computer was stripped, completely wiped out when I had a lot of pictures, including a picture of Denver Airport, which said U.S. Air Force New World Order in steel around the whole floor in the main room where they had this glass capstone with presidents and everything, trophies and things like that. And while they had all those murals on the wall, which were taken down and put in the underground base. All right, people, how much do you want to know about the truth? Do you even care? There is a difference between religion, spirituality, and truth. The truth being totally separate from both of those words. And government is totally a set-up program created by rich people. So how far do you want to go in which direction? I'm going to go in all those directions. I will be doing a part 2 of this show tonight or tomorrow based on I'm going to create a live debate with anyone with balls willing to defend what they say in the UFO world pertaining to UFOs and aliens. All right. Now, go online, type UFO alien interrogation. Watch it. It's real. I mean, the alien autopsy, one of them was fake. I mean, all those other things, they keep throwing these other things to try to screw up what we know. All right. I've been around a UFO, very close. I did a lot of things with that. I was next to an alien, had witnesses with me. I filmed more UFOs with a person than any other person in the United States. And I'm not going to go showing pictures now. We showed them from 1996 to 2002. And then again, about 2 years ago on Kerry Cassidy, we did a show for 9 months. We showed 5 pictures every single day. We had 50 people in the chat room every day. We had 100, 1,200 people call, text, and come into the show the next morning. So we had a big following. But near the end, they were going to charge me $50 to do a show, and I wasn't paying to get paid to do the show. So I canceled it. And the person I was doing all the UFO work, we split partners. He copyrighted all the photographs we shot, except a few. But he said he'll sue me if I try to use them. So people, you want to see pictures publicly? I can't show them. Become my friend, and maybe I can show you some real stuff. But outside of that, let's get with the problem. All right. The UFO world is exploding around the world. All the other countries are releasing information. Now, I'm going to start with the most important thing that's going on, and government isn't talking about it. 3 months, and this is for real, people. On Russian TV, again, on Russian TV, all right, I had a friend translating it, Mr. Putin was speaking to Trump. Don't ask me why, how, or anything about it, but he said, Mr. Trump, I want you to tell the world what actually happened at 9/11. I'm quoting what Mr. Putin said. He said it again to Trump's face. All right. He then said, I want you to tell the world what you're doing with aliens. For real. Mr. Putin said, we are working with aliens. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. First off, how would he know that? I'll tell you. The United States and Russia have been having wars with aliens and space people, and not one person in the UFO world speaks about it because they usually disappear. Oh, people in the UFO world don't disappear. People in the UFO world don't get killed. People in the UFO world don't get taken out. Well, I have 16 friends that were. All right. Now, I had a speaker on, Sean David Martin. He was put in jail for a couple of years with false lies that they create 150 lies of things that they said about him, which weren't true. They had no witnesses and no actual proof, but they still put him in jail and did horrible things to him for those times. He can't go sue the government because they won't admit it. Not one person will. But what they did to him was horrible. He's dying, people. And he was one of the people that discovered Area 51, took people out there to see the mothership land there years ago. And people want to listen to these storytellers in the UFO world now. Why? The government's been working with ships since 1949. Eisenhower and Truman both involved with it greatly. Eisenhower, all right, had to follow through what Truman already created. Truman created MJ-12, people. They control basically the whole world. They're the higher than the presidents and government, all right? And they make sure the UFO world was hidden up until now. But everybody has a camera. Everybody's filming UFOs, ships, and government inside what the government says, everywhere on the planet. Is everyone making up fake videos, really? Even if 1 million videos came out and only 3 of them were real. 3 of them were real. People, you want to live in a cloud, like with religion and spirituality, go right ahead. I'll get into that later. All right. I want to stick with this. Now, after this meeting last week, there's all these people coming out trying to downgrade it, saying it was, why are we making fun of our government and all that? Because the government's been hiding it. They should admit UFOs are real. They don't have to say what they did with aliens because they can't and they will not ever, people. All these whistleblowers coming out cannot go into that because I'll tell you this. Many of the top speakers in the UFO world are gone. I can go into stories that I know it wasn't suicide or accidental death or whatever. But a person like John Ford, he's in Long Island Nut House, When he was arrested in 1996, they said he had a barrel of uranium. He was going to put it in toothpaste and kill people in government. And that was on New Jersey and New York TV. Really? He's still in the nut house. He can't go to trial. Every year the government comes in, because he has lawyers trying to help him go to court, and they say, oh no, we have to reevaluate him, meaning he has to stay in the nut house for another year. He put out a video, all right, of an actual ship crashing on Long Island. I saw it. It was real. I know him. He was involved with MUFON. He had a Geiger counter. Had a piece of uranium that big, and he would check his Geiger counter out before he went out to the UFO site. And he was always check it before he went. But to turn around and say he had a barrel of uranium and he was going to put it in people's toothpaste, he would be dead if he was trying to do that, people. He wouldn't be alive in jail since 1996. He would have been radioactive. He would have been glowing many years ago and died. People, do you want to believe the stories? Yes, you do. 9/11, the truth never came out. Putin did say, I will tell the truth eventually. All right, now, after all that went down, Mr. Putin meets with Trump. You remember that a couple years ago? They said for 2 hours. Do you have a clue what Mr. Trump was talking to Mr. Putin about? Well, Putin said the next day, he said it over, what he wanted Trump to do. Then Mr. Trump creates the space army. There's no new space army. It's been here. People, you talk about money. You know where our money goes? To the Army, to the Air Force, to the Navy, and mainly weapons and defense. And the space program is called defense. They spent, people, and I'm not lying, all right? You can believe whatever bull you want, but the truth is they spend $720 billion a year. Do you understand that? No, you don't. Oh, we got a deficit of how much? Well, take a little of your money of that and pay it. Where's that money come from, people? Any idea? Well, I don't want to get into money in detail, but how much gold does the United States have, and who can prove it? They could print as much money as they want, really. All right? I don't want to get into the money situation, but our money is there. We're not in deficit. They're trying to take money from the poor people. Why? Because of UN Agenda 21-30. We're in stage 4 right now. All right, find out about it. It's real. It's happening. And AI will be in control of the world probably within 4 or 5 years. They're releasing flying cars next year. All right. Put an idiot in a flying car. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, you watch the Jetsons cartoons. It's not going to be like that because we're going to have drunks and drug addicts and everybody else in planes and jets flying around by themselves. Really? We're creating a world that's a disaster. Nothing man creates is beneficial spiritually or beneficial to the planet. Free energy is free. You don't burn things, you don't use things. But when you talk about batteries, toxic substances to make them, to create them, even when they get rid of them, and plastic, well, we all know about plastic, all those other things. But the lies came out about what's causing global warming. The government cannot talk about it. Why? Because everything the government does is destroying the planet. All right, I'm not going to get into that. Find out what's really causing global warming. Al Gore, when he was paid to create the word global warming, said what the problems were. He never said what was creating them. Man, scientists are ridiculous people. Sorry. They come out and say all these ridiculous things. Oh, it was Freon. I know personal scientists that worked on that. Freon's heavier than air. It can't go up into the atmosphere. The same as the pollution of the Hudson River. Oh, this, that, and the other thing. I had a friend that removed 2 trailers of toxins out of the Hudson River daily, and they shipped it in the United States and poured it somewhere. When you hear about, like, oh, the red tide, do you know what it is? Man-made chemicals coming into shore. All the lies you've been programmed and you listen to and you believe the lies. Oh, it's a green algae. Oh, it's this. What kills thousands and thousands of fish? What kills thousands and thousands of cows and elk and deer? What kills the birds flying in the air? Oh, a bang. Oh, somebody blew up a bomb. Oh. You ever see birds smack into each other? No. So the lies that they put out there, people don't want to fight it. They want to believe it. The same as they want to believe Jesus is going to come and save their sorry ass. Why would he? Do you deserve it? What do you think you're doing for God, people? Nothing. Look at the world today. Child abuse, child sales, child slavery. All right? I mean, even the government's involved. Everybody's making money. Money's the only thing people care about, making it. When the government worked with aliens, it wasn't about money. It was about weapons. Big difference. Again, the United States has to stay number one. We have the biggest submarine on the planet. We have the biggest plane on the planet. We have the biggest boat on the planet, which all carries the most deadliest weapons known to man. And some of them, or most of them, came from Mr. Tesla. All right, I've been getting a lot of more idiot calls lately. Sorry, people. People that don't want to face the truth and think they know it all and all these other things, trying to throw stuff about other things. I can only talk about what I know. Don't ask me about butterflies in California. Or what vibration is something vibrating at? Do I have machines? I got a cheap camera that I film UFOs with. Well, when I was with Mr. Sergeant 18, we had a $30,000 camera in 1996. It shot 300 frames a second. And when you talk about watching that in slow motion, you know how long it takes? But we filmed ships every half hour, 2 or 3 ships. And we put one on Strange Universe in 1996. Oh, what happened? Strange Universe was taken off the air the following week. John Ford was arrested and put in a nut house. They couldn't put him in trial because he would testify what was going on and show his video. He sent the video that I saw around the world to 4 people. It only gets released when he dies. So they can't kill him. They can't take him out. But they will keep him alive. All right? And now these people in government say, well, they would never take people out. There's no proof of killing people. Here's a story everybody needs to read if you don't know what it is yet. Phil Schneider. And type Phil Schneider and UFOs. It's the second most important UFO story that ever happened. Not Area 51. Area 51, there was 3 ships come down. Even Steven Greer doesn't know the truth about it. He lies and tells stories about it. I don't want to get into that right now. I will be doing part 2 of this. But okay, all right. Phil Schneider was a top Marine. All right. He was sent into an underground base with 66 Green Berets. They were all killed, people. He was the only one that got out alive. Oh, his hand was sort of like that, straight across. His belly was slit straight down, and his foot was blown out. Oh, what they say about him. Oh, he tried committing suicide. How in the world could he do things like that to his body, people? Then check out how he died, how they found him. People, you want to believe lies, go right ahead. UFO people don't talk about him. They want to make aliens sound good. Aliens have been here way before the human race came to this planet. They never helped the race survive. The native people claim they worked with star beings. The star beings are the Greys. They never helped them. There was 50 million native people, and now there's less than 1 million full-blood native people. They didn't work with them. They also said they work with Bigfoot. Bigfoot doesn't help people. They survive. They eat. That's all they do. I work with a man named Keone. He wrote so many books on Bigfoot and claims he works with them and all that. I did a show with him. I said, look, I'm going to debate you at the end. He goes, okay. When it came 20 minutes to the end of the show, I said, okay, what's your proof? Well, I got 200 people that saw. I have thousands of people that actually were abducted, lost their children, and many proved it to me, people. 52, 62, 72, in the 70s. All right. I was doing that. I was a hypnotist when I was 14. I was doing psychic implant removals. I was doing past life regression, which wasn't really out there at that time. All right. I learned a lot. And I work with people that had missing time. Most people have missing time and never find out what it meant. All right, people, there's not too many hypnotists out there that I would suggest to go to. I don't do it anymore, and I don't want to. But the people that claim they're the best, like one person claimed he did more people than anybody else on the planet, is a ridiculous person because he doesn't know anything about God, spirit, demons, entities, and aliens. So what could he do if he hypnotizes you? What's he going to talk about when an alien steps into a person's body? All right, people. I don't want to go into that world. I want to go back to what's happening right now. I'm in Hawaii. I just bought a new camera. I should be getting in a couple of weeks. They won't ship it to Hawaii, so I had to ship it to the mainland and have it shipped here. Here's the thing, people. In Hawaii, if you go outside on a clear night or morning, you'll see UFOs doing all strange things. Oh, they're drones. No, they're not. I'll tell you. I can't say the name and I can't show you the video. A person filmed 12 ships coming up out of the ground, going like this, and out into space. All right, 12. He had a laser in one hand and a camera in the other. He won't let me have it, and he won't put it up online. I don't blame him. But then again, if he put it up online, if they knew he had it, they would come after him. The same as John Ford. He was going to release the best video of a ship crashed on Long Island. I went out there. They tried to burn it down. For 2 weeks, they had all these black trailers going in and out. They blocked it off and said it was on fire. No, it wasn't. They tried burning the trees down where the ship crashed and everything. It was about a quarter of a mile. People, lies, 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 and more lies. There's two parts of the government. The outer government and the secret government. MJ-12 is the secret government. Now, Steven Greer talks about men in black. He has no clue. I met with them once. They were going to give us millions of dollars. Somehow that never happened. But again, I was sitting next to a guy, had a steel eye. He said, look, they're filming everything we're saying and watching everything we talk about. Watching and hearing. And he turns around and asks me about spiritualism, because I deal with that more so, because it's much more important than aliens are. But they wanted me to spend the night in this hotel while they were all talking. I had a job. I couldn't stay the night. Sergeant 18 stayed with them all night. All right. They never gave us money. All right. And then we were doing a conference. All right. We lectured with global sciences from 1996 to 2002. All right. We were doing a conference. He gets an email the night before we go. I have it. A copy of it. Dear Sargel, my partner. We are here. I'm here to inform you. We are not threatening you. We are only warning you not to persist, for you have no right to interfere with what's happening in the UFO world. Step back and enjoy what happens. Really? Guess what? This person was killed 6 months later. He worked for NASA. We had all his addresses and everything else. I'll give you a clue. He was one of the people responsible for sending that space shuttle up with all our information in it. All right. I can go on. The 16 people that I know that disappeared, one of them was my closest friend. I knew him since I was 12 years old. We used to play spaceman, building spaceships out of cardboard boxes and stuff when we were 12 years old. He joined NASA, which he always wanted to do. He designed all the special parts for the space shuttles. When I met with him, he told me, well, I'm not supposed to get involved with UFOs. And we were planning on to do something. We were going to create a separate society. He had a machine. He can make anything. He said, we don't need the outside world. Whatever breaks, I'll fix it. Within 3 days, we were going to have a meeting, a pool party, and everything else. That was the last time I ever heard from him. His whole family disappeared the next week. No proof? There's proof out there. But try to go against the government with that proof. Like, okay, John Ford. My friend, scientist, said, hey, I got a good friend in FEMA. He wants to meet us. We went there. You know what he told me? He took me in a room. There was 24 computers. And he goes, well, we monitor certain words and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And he says, look, don't go to see John Ford. I said, why? He goes, first off, we'll take out your family, and then we'll take out you. Don't even try it. I'm not making this up. Why would I? Because I like to make lies about the government? No, they control everything, people. You know that. You should know that. We don't have free speech. Why? We don't have free rights. Oh, we're more free than every other country. Well, in a lot of ways we are. We're not free to defend our own home. We're not free to talk about anything. We're not free. Where's the word freedom come from? I did a show on the Constitution, which is a lie. It was created by rich people for rich people while they were killing the native people, while they outlawed the poor people, while they stole half of it from the native people. People, you want to follow lies, lies, and more lies, stay on planet Earth. Now, see, I try to go into why we are really here. It's not about UFOs, aliens, government. It's about you as soul and why you did come here and why you have to die and why you reincarnate, most people. I'm not going to go into that. But people, are you going to listen to the lies over and over? I have one of the, to me, the highest person at every level. Medicine person. All right? And we could prove everything beyond a shadow of a doubt. But that person says, no, I can't. Mankind needs to get what they deserve. All right? You know, when spiritual people come out, they get killed. Go through history. Even Jesus was killed by his own followers. Many of his own followers. Do you believe in reincarnation? I'm aware of all my past lives back to Atlantis. You want to go into that? I will. People, well, that's yours. Well, you know, if you're a religious person, and I don't know if you know about the disciples, Paul never met Jesus physically. He met him in a vision. So anybody else that has a vision, it's a lie? I mean, there's visions created by entities and every other thing, but there is a truth behind a lot of them. And then again, people's programmed ideas influence everything they try to translate. Meaning when a person has a near-death experience, they have no clue what's happening. The mind creates, oh, I met my father, I met God, I met Jesus, I met this, and they said, you can't stay here, you got to go back. You know, that's a bull story. That's all their mind can perceive. What did it look like? What were you in? What was your body looking like? I mean, all those things, they can't talk about it. Wonder why. I had 5 death experiences. I can talk about that. I spent 45 years traveling out of my body. I met with deities, angels, and all those words. It's all real. I was a foot away from a Bigfoot. They're real. I work doing exorcisms. Demons and entities are real. But you got these people that believe that, these people that believe that, these people don't believe in anything, these people believe in everything. Well, basically everything you can imagine exists somewhere, not in this physical plane. This world has 3 dimensions, not 6, 12, 18. Each one of those dimensions has 3 dimensions inside them. Even CERN, C-E-R-N, can only go into the dimensions that are in this reality. When people talk about the astral plane, like what's the vibration, it has a sound, it vibrates. Every place you go vibrates at a certain sound, if you can hear it. And that will tell you how spiritual you really are. All right? By what you meet, where you go, what you do. What do you think when you get in heaven, Christians? Oh, I sit around with my family and talk about what? The weather? Where I'm going to buy my next pair of shoes? What do you think, people? What do you believe? Buddha didn't believe in God, and that's a serious problem as well. Miyake Kiyu, I can't even say his name, the Japanese scientist. Well, he says, out of all his research and everything in all his mind, he said there has to be a higher intelligence. For him to say that, that's good, but he puts down UFOs, aliens, and everything else. And the speed of spaceships and all that, impossible, this, that. Well, humans can't travel at the speed of light. Their body would deteriorate, fall apart, shatter. People, do you want to deal with the lies? Do you care if you get the truth before you die? I do. I've been searching my whole life for the truth about God only, most important. And God is real. But it's not the storybook God that you read in the Bible. And how much did Moses know about God? He wrote the Ten Commandments. He was given the information to write it, but he didn't write all of them or fill in the details about it. He'd be writing for a couple weeks at a time trying to get it all down. But again, people, believe the lies. So-called Moses was spiritual, comes up the mountain, has 3,000 people killed. He brings people to a promised land where they go in and kill everybody that's there. Where do you get your spiritual ideas from? What does spiritual mean to you? Kill people and live a happy life? People believe that going to other country and killing people is okay. It's not. It's karma. Serious karma that you're not going to pay back in a lifetime. I dealt with a person on a show on Coast to Coast talking about it's okay if we go to another country and kill people. By whose God is that by? Defense, self-defense versus killing are two separate words. You go into a country and blow them apart. That's not self-defense, is it? All right, especially when you're killing women and children. Wounded Knee, which happened in the United States, and I can tell you I was there when it happened, watched how they slaughtered women and children, raped the girls and all that. Do you want the truth? You want to live in fairyland. It was the white man that scalped the native people. They got paid for a man scalp versus a woman scalp, and less for a child scalp, but they got paid for all three scalps, people. Why do you think you were allowed to carry guns? To kill native people. The 1860s on, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, when they were alive and everything, was the biggest battles. Crazy Horse and Geronimo surrendered. Crazy Horse was killed the week after he surrendered. Geronimo became a puppet for years. And they were just having people take pictures with them and all that kind of stuff. And then he died later, falling off a horse. You know, it's sad, people. You don't hear the real truth. You hear the lies, how bad native people were. What if somebody came in your house and did anything that they did to the native people? Oh, that's okay. That's fine. Take my daughter. Take my house. Take my food and kill me. Oh, that's okay. Really? Who are the evil people? They killed the Quakers. They did a lot of horrible things inside the United States and call it just. During the Constitution, Hamilton and Aaron Burr had a duel. And he killed them. And he stayed in the Juma Mansion. They didn't put him in jail or kill him or anything. You know, people like Thomas Jefferson, who became the third president, rode the whole southern part of the United States, killing every tribe he could. Who is controlling his mind? Who controls people's minds in general? If you're religious, you might believe in Satan, but then again, you probably don't. If you're not aware of anything, you might say, oh, the government's controlling my mind, or the drugs are controlling my mind. You always have an excuse, but you don't know the truth, so you have to fill it in with something. Aliens are not the something that you need to fill it in. The Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs were all given false lies by aliens, people. Going to the first religion, which was Hinduism, they were working with deities. Deities were not aliens. Aliens drive around in a ship. Interdimensional beings are not here working with people. People believe it and stuff. All right? They're not helping mankind move forward in any way. Every toy that man creates is dangerous to the planet and to life. Free energy, cars that run by themselves, planes that run, everything that runs by itself is against our rights and our freedom. It'll take it away eventually. To think that aliens are going to help us. Steven Greer is teaching people how to talk to aliens. Ridiculous, people. He can't come out with any good things or any important things that they can tell us because they can't. They don't believe in God. The emotions are a lot different than ours. If you work with them or know people that actually work with aliens, the show I do with Tina Bird was abducted more times than most people. Her book just came out last week. Tina Bird, pull it up, buy it. It's a real story. We do a show. We've been doing it for almost 3 years now. She's radioactive, people. She's very sickly. You don't get on a ship and walk away freely. Travis Walton wrote the movie and did the movie and everything else, but he's okay. Tina Bird has all the symptoms of radiation poisoning and is radioactive. When I started doing my show, I made her buy a Geiger counter, which I bought one. And it goes off when she puts it next to her body and stuff. But something that's impossible, people, and this should go to every person out there, scientists in the UFO world, it goes up and down. Radiation cannot do that by itself. All right, just telling you a fact. Now, Skinwalker Ranch is probably the most important movie to watch right now. They're showing more things on that the government doesn't want people to know, really, because the black helicopters are flying over them all the time and everything else right now. But we'll see if that show goes on another year. We'll see if they're able to pull the UFO out of the ground or anything else really, really important that will change reality greatly. Right now, the physical solid proof is not there. I mean, an actual ship and an actual alien. Now, I can go into the story about Evie and Valenthor. There's 7 people that came here from Venus. Alnek is one of them, supposedly. She claims he came here at 6 years old. Valenthor was taken into the White House because he had powers. Well, if we've come from another world, I think he'd have a little bit more powers in different ways than we do in this physical world. Even though when adrenaline goes through the body, you can do almost anything. All right, people. You know, I've been doing shows for many years. I worked with T.J. Morris for 12 years. I pull away from people because all you hear is stories. When people claim they went to ascension, like in the UFO world or the spiritual world, you don't do that and walk around normal. Sorry about that, people. But you know, we're in serious trouble. The world's going to change totally, completely in the next 7 years. Whether you believe in aliens or not, whether you talk to aliens or not, I just found out there's a lady on in Hawaii. Oh, she charges $100 to take people at night to watch UFOs. But she teaches a class on how to talk to UFOs. I mean, UFOs, aliens, sorry. Really? I'm going to pay to learn a class to learn to talk to aliens. Why would I want to do that? I'd rather talk to a deity anytime. Why would I want to talk to an alien? And the aliens that come here are not good. They never have been, people. Oh, I work with the good aliens. Which one are they? What did they do for the human race? Ever? Go back as far as you want. They destroyed Atlantis, reprogrammed man to kill. And that's the downfall of the human race. The Garden of Eden was destroyed. I mean, we hear, this race was here. The Anunnaki, another lie story. Completely a lie. They didn't create the human race. And all these stories about this God and that God is another story as well. I have friends that I was doing stuff with for years, and then I said, nope, I can't deal with it anymore. People that believe the Anunnaki created us are pretty bad off. It's like the people in this world, even scientists that talk about the world being flat. Their head is flat, their brain is flat, but as far as the world, it is not. I mean, they could do one simple thing and they would realize it's not flat. But, you know, ignorance is growing every which way. Could it be because of drugs? How about chemtrails? They're spraying the planet all the time. Russia's the only country that won't let any plane spray over their planet, over their country. But it drifts in with clouds and different things like that. But if you watch chemtrails, they stay in one spot, people. They just spread out. Like a cell goes to 100 times itself within a couple hours. People, they spray Hawaii a lot. I mean, we got so many. Plus now they're dealing with drones, dropping bombs with them, testing them and playing with them. Big drone. Looks really cool. Here's some people for you to learn and know. Within a year, the United States will release their own spaceship. It'll have every weapon known to man on it. It costs $40 billion. that a lot? I don't know. When they spend $720 billion a year for every weapon and everything else they buy and pay and who they pay off and what they pay, it's a lot of money, people. Especially when you're being taxed for your, what? What do people make? 12,000 to 40,000 on welfare, disability, and all these other horrible things? Really? While the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. You heard that. Now, I have to say this whatever I do because people that are rich live in an ego, a programmed world. Jesus said this 3 times in the Bible, and I personally heard him say it when I was there as a female in that lifetime. But he said, and this is word for word, it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to go into heaven. I think every rich person should hear that. I've been trying to get in touch with Oprah for 24 years. Never got one reply. I did every 21-day workshop she did. I did everything. I replied, put emails in there every day. Never got a reply. Now, in the UFO world, I've been dealing with all the UFO people, including Lou Elizondo. He can't even say that aliens are real or UFOs are real. And he claims all this stuff. I challenged him. I said, look, just talk to me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes of your life. Oh, I believe and trust people and I respect people. No, he doesn't. If you can't tell the truth, you don't respect reality. And all these whistleblowers coming out now, why? Well, I would have lost my job. Well, look at who came out with the story of Roswell. I mean, how about when the first abduction happened? A black and white person, couple, wasn't accepted then, came out and said they were abducted. You think they wanted to do that? They knew it was going to change their reality. People would even look at them 10 times worse. But they did. If a person holds truth and they don't bring it out, it's karma. You're not given truth unless you're supposed to put it out there. Truth isn't to hide like the government does. All the people in government will pay. All the people in scientists that put out false stories all the time. Oh, this is good. This is good. When they put fluoride in the water, they knew it was poison. People, do you understand anything about reality in this world? Who do you think controls it? Really? Not a president. Not government. Who controls thinking? Who controls programming that mankind accepts? There is something that does, people. And it's not aliens, because they're controlled by the same thing. Why alien races want to control the universe. They don't want to make friends with the universe and make it a universal, friendly gathering. Because it's not happening. If you want something to happen, you make it happen. If the laws aren't right, you change them. But people don't care enough to even try to change it. Man has no right to interfere with what women do, and they think they have the right to. Telling a woman she can't have an abortion or can't take a pill? Are you serious, people? And you accept that? Any man, I should say any woman that would vote for those kind of people have something wrong. Serious, people. Do you care about your body? Do you care about your own protection? Do you care about your own life? Do you care about your children? No, I'm going to put them on drugs. Really? Drugs don't help the human body, ever. The drugs for pain don't eliminate the pain. They hide it here and there, but they don't get rid of it or remove it. Where are you, people? Aliens are not going to help us. What the government says about them is not going to help you and me as a person. I can give you a short story, but not today, about how not to get abducted. Too many people are getting abducted today, more so than ever in history. But do you think alien races want to come here and take control of 8 billion people? No. They have no control over them. Look at what they're doing now. You see any people bowing down to aliens? You know, here in Hawaii, there's groups of people that pray and do this workshop with Billy Meyer's music and spaceship sounds and stuff. Really? People, you know, we look for things. but it's not the truth. It's what makes you feel happy. Happiness is a delusion that keeps you here. Sickness is a man-created thing in most cases. God doesn't allow us to live more than 125 years for a reason. Because you're not going to learn any more when you're 130 or 150. If you didn't learn it in your first 50 years of your life, you're not going to learn it in another 100 years in this lifetime. People, that's why you reincarnate. But then again, you're born again back with the same ignorance in your brain, not willing to look forward. You're attached to something. Well, I'm going to be back with my family. I want to be back. No, that doesn't make you change because you reincarnated hundreds of times. You had hundreds of families, people. Do you care about any of the other ones that you had? All the other children that you had? Oh, no, I care about this one. But what if you marry 3 times and have children with 3 different people? When you die, who do you think you sit in heaven with? Which one? People, get real with life. And something I'm going to tell you. When we reincarnate, we don't have to come back as a male or a female. We come back, we could be a male in 10 lifetimes and come back as a female, or vice versa. People in this world that experience parts of that don't understand that. Well, I got girls' feelings. Why? Because you were a girl. Or you were a man. Doesn't mean you have to change your body to fit that. But we get pulled into this horrible world where one person, because he believes different, the world has to change to that one person. Spiritual laws, religions have changed because they can't keep up with keeping people in the church. The Catholic religion is sad. Muslim religion is sadder. The Jewish religion is sad. What they do, what they expect, and what they try to make people do. They're not even aliens. What do you think aliens will do if they come here and decide to stay here? Well, they won't live too good with us. I'm telling you that straight out. But people, something you should really think about. When they went in this underground cave and found thousands of skeletons, guess what that meant? They were eating humans, people. Whether you want to believe that or not. Don't. Live in a hole in the ground. Go right ahead. The truth is out there. But do you got the balls to step out of the programmed ideas that you have, the mindset that you have, and willing to look at reality? What's really happening? Well, guess what? The sun's going to be burning us apart in the next 2 years. The radiation is going to be so high, and it's growing daily, if you don't know that or not. Look at the planet. Look at the earthquake chart. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong site. But pull up the earthquake chart. 6 and 7s every week now. We're going to have an 8 or 9. And guess what that's going to do? People, are you ready? Do you realize why that's happening either? Of course not. Not one person is talking about what's creating global warming. All the lies they fed you, paper plates, cow farts, antifreeze, all those were lies, people. They recreated antifreeze, just charged twice as much for it. Guess who was involved with that? Mr. Tesla worked with DuPont in New Jersey in an underground base. That's where Stll and I did all our UFO work. Filming creatures, entities, seeing, hearing things. Oh, it was super crazy. People, you can sit back and say, well, that's not real, or somebody's making up a story. You know the old saying, one person could be a liar, 2 people could be a liar, 100 people could be a liar, but there's a million people all lying about the same thing. Millions of people lying about the same thing. Like I said, there's 100 videos of UFOs landing. Even if 3 of them are real, guess what? It's real, people. And they're all not fake. China, Russia, Germany, France, Italy are releasing stuff. Go on Instagram. Watch all the videos coming out. The ships are incredible. I mean, the person would have to spend weeks just designing their spaceship they're putting in that picture. And even if they did, that's only one. Watch a sighting of a ship in 4 places around the planet, the same ship. I can go on what I saw and stuff, but that's only I don't want to prove it because every time I had a camera, I went to use it, it didn't work. But, to show you the intelligence of aliens, people, and I know it for a fact, in the UFO world, you try to get the best picture. All the best pictures I could have ever had that would have changed reality, the camera never worked. When you go to shoot a picture of a ship or an alien or anything, your camera freezes. Why is that? How is it possible? Now, watch Skinwalker Ranch. Watch how these multi-million dollar equipment turns off. Never happened before. They sent 250 drones up. These shows are all around the world, and here these drones are going this way and that way. All the things they're showing are impossible, people. It's not made for TV. It's really happening. They're showing you frequencies and what happens, what vibrates. I mean, they call the native people in. Native people always have stories. Not that they're all real, but they always have stories. Because they talk about aliens and ships and everything. Anybody could see a ship if you go out for 1 week and watch the sky. But if you want to live in dreamland, go right ahead. Please. They're going to try to squash everything that's happening. Steven Greer is going to make it sound like everything in the world changed, which it didn't. And he's really important, which he's not. And the idea, people say, well, disclosure is not going to happen. It happened a long time ago. Disclosure doesn't mean it's going to show everybody on the planet the truth. Because 90% of people don't want to hear it or even see it. How many people want to really see or be next to a Bigfoot? I didn't want to be when I was. But again, people, the truth is there. Think the government's going to come out and say what they had to do to work with aliens? Of course not. Oh, well, they're doing what they get paid to do. Now, people, ask yourself why the government doesn't talk about the underground cities. Why don't they? You know how much money is spent? Do you know anything about Denver Airport? Behold the Pale Horse was written about it when it was really being created. The only picture of the flooring that said U.S. Air Force New World Order, I had it. And I told you my computer was stripped of that picture. But I was there the year after it was taken out of the floor. They removed the steel thing and put a fountain over it. And I searched for like an hour because I had flight time between flights. And there was all these people on the floor, all the workers. And I said, does anybody know what was going on 2 years ago? I walked away. One guy got up and told me, what do you need to know? I was just rehired. I said, well, 2 years ago on the floor. Oh, they took that out and put the fountain over it. Oh, really? Now, the New World Order people, and this is a fact, whether you want to believe this or not, have to tell you what they do before they do it. They always did and always will. It's their true belief system, which they follow, not like most religious people. When they put Denver Airport out there, it was created by a bunch of different people doing different sections of it. They never wanted one person to know the extension of the things. Then when they used the newest technology, they didn't have to mine rocks, because if you go around, John, what's his face? The guy that did the TV show about exposure of all these things. Oh, he was a wrestler, governor, not Alex Jones. Man, I'm doing a block. Sorry. It'll come to me in a second. But he showed, Jesse Ventura, sorry. He went there. He went underground in the cities. He showed FEMA camps. He did all these things until they took a show off the air. And he moved to Mexico. And he said, I'll run for president if he could have somebody run with him. And he would probably be a good person for president because he wanted the proof, always. He went into the last show that Fred Bell, not Art Bell, Fred Bell did with Jesse Ventura. The first scene, Jesse goes to him, aren't you afraid the government's going to come after you? He goes, no, I work for the government. Jesper Ventura says, well, what about me? He goes, well, you're too mainstream for them to take you out. Okay, 2 days later, he was found dead in the hotel room, didn't even leave yet. People, and these people, oh, there's no stories about people being taken out by the government, men in black, and all that. Well, you don't know too many stories, do you? You don't know the facts either. I lost too many friends. I can go into the details of them all. All right. Like I said, I met with men in black. They're real. Tina, the one I do my show with, her friend had men in black go to her house and ask him about our show and different things like that. Then a month, 2 months ago, her boyfriend was walking the street. A car plowed next to him, almost killed him. Didn't. A week later, he was on a bike and they almost plowed into him again, and he got away. But they give warnings, try to scare you away first. Not like Mr. Steven Greer, the biggest storyteller of them all. Claims he was offered $3 billion to walk away from the UFO world. They could have him killed for $1 million, $100. People that work for the government kill people because they have to. And he said $3 billion? Well, my friend Stll 18 saw that. I'm sure he didn't get that much money. I mean, a lot of money. He got enough for a house and cars and everything. But billions of dollars? People, listen to what these people say. Billy Myers said he was shot at 21 times. If a government wants to take you out, there's no second chance. Robert Morningstar, sorry. Check out his site. I'm not really good friends with him because we totally agree on many things. He was dealing with Kennedy's death for a long time. A person on his dying bed, I'm not going to say his name, confessed to the 3 people that were involved with killing Kennedy. All right? So, you listen to stories, you believe stories, but the truth never comes out. Not one person will talk about what really happened at 9/11. How the 3rd building was taken out. Impossible. Under what they say happened. People, do you listen to lies and don't care? Do you care if your food's poisoned? Do you care if your water's poisoned? Do you care if your air's poisoned? I don't think so. You're not fighting about it. Oh, it says, what's it say? Organic. Does that make it really organic? If it's exposed to the air, it's no longer organic. They spray chemtrails in the air all the time. How could it be organic? Well, because it's not listed on the ingredients. Well, people, look, our time's running out. For most of the people on this planet, people, whether you want to accept that or not, Jesus is not coming back here. And I can say that because I was with Jesus when they killed him. All right? I was at Mary Magdalene. And just so you know, people, men hate women. Always did. Peter did not want to listen to Mary Magdalene because she was a woman. But she was the only other person I know in all of history that went through ascension. When you go through ascension, you have 32 psychic abilities from the astral plane. No one else had that. And if Mary Magdalene didn't have those abilities, she wouldn't be able to teach the disciples, would she? Well, if you do this and do this, but if you can't prove it, it's useless. So UFOs are real, aliens are real, but if you can't prove it, it's totally useless, isn't it? And they never gave Mary Magdalene the respect, in the United States anyway. But guess what? In France, they have Mary Magdalene's skull in the temple. They say it's the most highest valued, strongest of energy of any artifact on the planet. I only found out about it recently. I wish I knew a long time ago. But, and they respect Mary Magdalene. So the Knights of Templar do as well. All right? In case you didn't know that. All right? But nobody talks about Mary Magdalene's daughter. Mary Magdalene didn't live forever. They didn't build all the temples by the time Mary Magdalene was still alive. But her daughter was pretty much unknown. Oh, she had a daughter. Really did. Sorry, people. But again, people, you don't want the truth. You want lies. You want to feel good. You want to know that you're protected. You know that you're going to go to heaven. What do you think you're going to do when you get there if you think you're so spiritual or God, working for God and all those kind of words? No, you're working for aliens, people. Aliens control this reality. They destroyed all the races that were here. Pyramids and this, that. It didn't help them, did it? What do you believe, people? Lies. And then you got ancient alien people telling you more programmed ideas. Richard Dolan, I joined his site, hoping that I could talk to him. He won't reply to me. I pay, what, $9 a month to be in his site? Skinwalker Ranch, I've been trying to get in touch with them now for about 6 months. I paid $12 for that site, and they won't even talk to me. These people have their set agenda, and they won't go against it because they get paid for it, they get work from it, and all those other words that come around it. Like whistleblowers. I guess they were afraid to lose their paycheck. Now, what's his name? I'm going to tell you his name. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Very bad. I have dyslexia. I have a lot of different things. But Story Musgrave. Seriously, he was an astronaut that created the space program for. He was on 6 of the flights, people. And I dealt with him years ago. He said he never saw an alien or anything close to it on this planet. He would only say that we saw things in space. That's all he would say. I had something going down with a UFO in a lake and everything else. And I said, look, there's aliens and everything else. And I said, can you? And he said, what? And he hung up. He can't get involved. He loves his paycheck. And he doesn't want to lose it. People, when you get paid not to answer something, you usually don't, especially if you have a family. Family people are controlled by the government. They can't come out and talk about it. Prove it. My brother was a second lieutenant chemist in the Army. I talked about karma with him. Well, I got a lot of karma. I said, why? Well, I can't talk about it. So years later, 30 years later, he said, well, I'm going to tell you 2 things that you might want to know, which he told me. He said, well, I can't talk about some more things because I can't talk about that for 50 years. And he signed all these papers and stuff. Well, they have weapons that don't kill people, that just lay them out. Wouldn't you rather just put them out unconscious for 2 days and then rather than killing them? But no, that's not what war's about, people. They don't send children to war because they're smart and intelligent. They would put people over 35 in the Army and Marines and Navy, not people under it, not people 17 to 35. Really? Oh, that's the prime. No, it's not. Prime of what? Strength, but not brains and abilities and thoughts. A person 35 years old is much more intelligent about things and creating things than a 17-year-old is. Think about why things happen, people. I was always taking one piece of a puzzle and sticking it on a platform and putting those pieces together to see how they fit. They all fit together. All of it. For reasons. But you don't want to hear about Satan, not Lucifer. Even the person I did my UFO stuff with, he claims Lucifer is going to come down in 2034 and kill Satan. No, Lucifer is going to come down and Jesus is going to kill him. Again, not going to happen. Lucifer is an angel, one of the highest angels. People that aren't aware of the spiritual world have no clue about angels and deities and all those other words. They don't play in hell no more. They don't have no reason to. Jesus come back into hell to save who? Which people? All these so-called Christians that smoke and drink and abuse their children and curse and all those other things. You think they deserve to go to any spiritual place? Oh, we need to carry a gun. Really? A gun can only kill somebody. It's not going to heal somebody. People, wake up. I do a show to bring truth out. Whether you want to hear it or not, that's your choice. But you don't have to come on my show if you don't want to hear truth. Go to every other show out there. Listen to Steven Greer and his bull. Listen to Georg Noory and what he knows, which he doesn't know. Don't listen to these whistleblowers. Well, I saw a ship. I did this. And Well, why don't you get a picture? They had spy cameras when I was young. I wasn't into UFOs in a way that I am now. I dealt with people that were abducted and things like that, but I wasn't writing books about it. I wasn't trying to make money on it. When I was doing past life regressions, I never charged for anything I did. I only wanted to help people find out what went on in their life that they didn't know, which everyone should. Not that they're going to remember it when they die, especially if they don't become an aware being, which isn't easy to do in this reality. All right, people. I'm glad you listened to me if you're here. If you're still here, please send this link to everybody you know. I'm going to be doing a show, maybe tonight, maybe not, probably tomorrow if I can, on a live debate I'm going to put out there to every UFO person willing to go against me as far as the lies they're putting out. I'm sure there's not anybody with a pair of balls out there, girl, male or female. Caroline Corey did 3 movies. You think she's going to ruin that? Steven Greer's ego is bigger than God because he said, "Oh, I wouldn't take $3 billion." What person in the universe would not take $3 billion? He could have created UFO centers around the planet. He just didn't have to put his name on it. But people's ego, which he has a big ego, but again, he might have taken $3 million and made it to $3 billion. But they wouldn't offer him that kind of money. All my friends were taken out. Oh, they might have got a warning, like Tina's boyfriend and things like that. When I was at Stll, and this is a fact, we were driving the car at 70 miles an hour. Police pulled us over. He goes, "Well, I'm Stll," and the cop just drove away. I'm serious. He worked for the government at one time before he started working for himself. People, there's so many things going on that you don't want to know. I'm putting a book out called For Women Only. It's about how this is a man's world and women are victims to it. Period. No matter what they do, what they think. Go in the army and fight and kill people? Is that what women really need to do? People, your programming is getting worse. We're moving farther and farther away from the word being aware, not spiritual, because people don't know what that word means. Short, it means aware of God, a real God, not this man that sits in a chair and says, "Oh, I'm going to save your ass." No, that's not what it's about, people. You can believe whatever you want. Funny, they don't talk about God much in the Bible. Moses' translation of God was pretty lame as well. But people, you like fake stories, you like exaggerated truth. If it makes you feel good, you're even more happy. Truth will never make you feel good. Because the feelings and emotions of the body are limited to the 5 senses of the human body. Soul doesn't have them when it steps out of the body. Do remote, no, wrong word. Astral projection or soul travel. Leave your body. It's different. Remote viewing is evil, people. George Washington did it. He left his body, looked where the armies were, and then he took them out. So it's usable in this reality, but it's not spiritual. All right, people. Tommy Hawksblood here. Email me hawksblood1AOL.com. HAWKSBLOOD1. I had to block 2 people within the past week. I'm tired of answering stupid questions or people that just outright have no clue and don't want to know and want to put anything that's really true down. All right, people. The truth is out there. You can listen to all the other people if you don't want it. That's your choice. You want to find anything true? Come to the show. Tina Bird's not a liar. Her book just came out. Buy it. Read it. I don't know how much of everything she got into in that book. It's not big. There's going to be part 2 of it right away. But again, people, find the truth. Learn to accept truth. But prove it first. Don't accept anything I say. You don't have to. but at least search for the truth, like why you are here. Not for children, not for your wife, not for a house, car, any of those things, fame, fortune. Why did you come here? Why are you going to leave? Those questions, the spiritual people don't talk about it. I want to do the show based on the debate. I'm going to debate any UFO speaker, any spiritual speaker, any religious speaker, if they have balls to defend what they promote, which they don't, and they won't. I'll be surprised if I get 2 people. I'll be surprised if I get 1. Growing a pair of balls takes awareness of the truth. I mean, not just ego with a pair of balls like Musk, Gates, and all the rich people, but somebody that has the truth. And who has that? How many people out there do? How many can tell you anything about God? How many people can really tell you anything about death? Psychics that talk to spirits. If they're still talking to spirits, they didn't get into heaven or the higher realm, the astral plane, and stay there. And if they are, they're only there temporary. People, I've been dealing with this all my life. I spent years at every level. I spent 40 years traveling out of my body. I met with deities and angels and stuff. It's different when you know what's going on beyond this reality, which is so horrible. Man doesn't respect man, don't respect women, don't respect children, don't respect life, don't respect the planet. And you expect to be saved? To do what? People, I'm going to tell you, get what you can out of life, but don't stop until you find the truth. Because if you don't, you'll be here again doing it all over without any awareness. Peace, love, truth, compassion, whatever you want, don't stop until you get it. Don't follow the lies. Always take it in and really analyze it to see if it's true or not. Till next time.